This is a video I had no intention of making until a week ago. At a loose end, I signed up for the Sports Trading Life Correct Score course information just to have a look around. What I discovered was concerning to say the least. This video doesn't even address his trading style. We've covered that in a previous video. This video goes far deeper. We examine the trust element. This could open your eyes to something far more sinister. This video deviates away from our normal style of videos, but it was important to make. The philosophy of the channel is that if something adds value, we'll make it. Rather than giving you the tools to make money, this video could give you vital information to save money. I'll let you be the judge of that. Before we delve in, it is important to give you a bit of background. From 2019 to 2023, I ran a successful website which educated users of online scams. I'm able to identify patterns of behaviour and things that sound too good to be true. We also look at things from a different angle to that the scammer or fraudster wants you to look at it from. I've been interviewed by a leading Australian media source talking about scams, and I was also approached by the BBC to be an expert on their scam awareness show Love or Money, although nothing came of this one. I'm not saying Sports Trading Life is a scammer. You do get to use the service that you've paid for, but some of the techniques used certainly raise a lot of red flags and are techniques commonly used in many well-known scams. Now that's out of the way, let's begin. When we signed up to the course information, we received this email. Nothing out of the ordinary here, it's what you'd expect. It gives you the option to book onto his free masterclass. Can't say fairer than that. We'll take a look like most people would who are taking an interest in what he is offering. This takes us to an extremely amateur looking website with lots of highlighted words, the ones he psychologically wants you to read. Words like profitable, last few showings, click now to book as soon as possible. Before we do that, we'll keep on scrolling down. He's desperate for us to join this webinar. Every other section has a link to sign up. It must be good. Interestingly, there is no Sports Trading Life branding on the page. The URL is ultimatefootballtrading.com, and in the small print at the bottom, although it does mention Sports Trading Live, it also mentions another company, Automatic Football Profits. Who are they? We can see that there are only a few shows remaining. We better get in quick before we miss out on this amazing free course. In fact, we can book onto the final showing. Lucky we made it in time. So this is a common theme by someone who's wanting to get money or personal details from you. By telling you to act immediately, they want you to click into their site without giving it much thought. This is common with things like the TV license scam, Netflix scam, any scam which says you're about to lose access. So in this case, we're going to miss out on the final showing if we don't sign up now. Okay, Ben, you've convinced me. Let's give it a go. So it looks like there are 3 showings left, and luckily there's one in 3 minutes time. So we've just made that. That is fortunate for us. So we'll go ahead and sign up, and we'll come back once we've entered our credentials. So we're in, and it's given us a link to go to for the webinar. So let's launch that. And we've still got 2 minutes to wait until the start. So we'll come back at that point and see what Ben's going to teach us.
Finally connected now. Welcome. I do know we had some issues with the link.
Okay, so we're now into the Sports Trading Life Correct Score video. We've muted Ben at the moment because we're not really interested in what he's got to say. We're not going to critique his content too closely, even though we might get onto some of that later. What we're going to do now is something that he wouldn't expect any user to do, and that is we're going to open another instance of his page in an incognito browser, so that it doesn't take any of the settings from this session. So we'll do that now. So here we are, we're at the same page again as we were before, but we're now in an incognito window. So let's book the final showing on this one, and we'll go through the same process as before. Now you can see here we've now got a 10:30 slot, which starts in 12 minutes time. Why wasn't that there before? That's interesting. So suddenly we're starting to get suspicious here. The 2 slots that were there for this evening and tomorrow evening are still there, but a new one has suddenly been created out of nowhere. The simple answer here is that these aren't final sessions. He's actually running them every 15 minutes throughout the day. This is just a ploy to get people to join instantly, the fear of missing out factor. The platform he's using allows him to do this, and he's exploiting it to the max at your expense. In fact, new webinars start every 15 minutes, 24 hours a day. I make that 96 chances to watch each day. Hardly the final showing he proclaims it to be. So let's close that down and let's go back to his main webinar, which we've got running in the other window. As I say, we've got the sound turned off on this so that it's not clashing with what we're saying. The actual webinar is 3 hours and 30 minutes long. You can't fast forward any of this either, although we have inserted some code to allow us to play the video at twice the speed on demand. This is the only change we've made. Everything else you're seeing here is exactly as it is if you was to sign up to this webinar yourself. Okay, it's time to start digging. So we can see that there are 334 attendees watching this video. This may have been the number when it first went live. It certainly isn't the number who are watching the replay. So with my trained eye, I'm looking for clues as to how genuine this actually is. I'm going to look at the code behind the web page by pressing F12. I know nothing about the webinar jam platform that is being used, so this may give me an indication. I'm just going to drag that across, and we go into sources, and the one below the live 27 is the one that I'm interested in. And we can see here that there appears to be a section called buyers, which is saying someone from Edinburgh joined the correct score mastery, and there's a start time of 4,801 in there. What that actually is seconds from the start of the video. So a quick calculation would show that that is 1 hour, 20 minutes and 1 second into the video. Hopefully the platform gives us a timer at the top of the screen so we can check that when the time comes around to see if our beliefs are correct. So we can also see that someone from Oxford allegedly buys this at 1 hour, 20 minutes and 15 seconds. Someone from Leeds, 15 seconds later. Someone from Winchester, 15 seconds after that. Someone from Swansea, 15 seconds after that. And someone from Norwich, and you get the idea. This goes on indefinitely. So what we'll do is we'll put all of these times and descriptions in the description of the video so you can mark them up yourself if you have access to the webinar. This seems highly suspicious to me. Are these real sales hooked up to a payment provider, or are they fake? I have my opinion, but we needed facts. It was time to look at the Webinar Jam site. At this point, it's important to say Webinar Jam is a legitimate website. I have no reason to doubt their authenticity. The website actually gives a good overview of how the system works, but it didn't give me any real indication on the product sales from within a webinar. It does mention that you can replay the live chat in the on-demand viewings. Interestingly, Sports Trading Live has disabled this, so draw your own conclusions as to what the nature of these messages were. He also does this on many of his YouTube videos, so you can't call out his actions. While I was in the Webinar Jam page, I did have a look at the pricings. So $379 a month for the Enterprise, which it would have to be because the video is over 3 hours long, or if you just pay monthly, $499. So he's certainly going to have to drive a hard sell to pay for his subscription here by selling his courses, which again probably is the reason of the desperate tactics that are being employed. But looking around the Webinar Jam site, we were unable to find anything that would kind of lend itself to how Sports Trading Live has fabricated these sales, or potentially fabricated the sales that we're expecting to see on his website later in the webinar. We do strike lucky, however, with a YouTube video from somebody called Aaron LeBauer, who's got over 5,000 subscribers, so obviously knows what they're talking about. And he shows a section of Webinar Jam called Live Sales Notifications. And the word in there says, you can pop a flash banner announcing a new order at any specific time throughout the webinar video. It is meant to encourage other real users to join in the buying frenzy. Each order banner remains up for about 5 seconds, so be sure to space them out accordingly. And we can see here, at various times during the video, you can put the buyer's name and the product purchased. So just enrolled in and then the course name. And that is exactly what we've seen in the JSON output that we saw from the Sports Trading Life webinar. So this is gold. We'll pause the video and we'll come back later when something happens around the time of these pop-ups. So we're around the 1 hour 12 minute mark here, and the hard sell is in full swing. Here he is playing on the viewer's fear of missing out emotions again. So the course is being shown for 1197 or 1797, depending on which version you are looking to potentially purchase. And here he is breaking it down into installments, which, as we'll see when we go through to his carts a little bit later, there's not actually any mention of installments, but that might be an oversight. I'm not going to knock him down on that, because that would be an opinion, and this is all about facts, this video. So we'll come back in a little while once this sale has progressed a little bit further. So now, even here, appreciate this is a high cost. So another tactic he's using is to try and think that he's giving value to his customer base by giving them a special offer on this price. As you can see on the screen now, we've still got the sound muted, so I'm not talking over him. But as you can see here, he's about to cut the price for this webinar only. So rather than paying 3 months at 397, he's only taking one payment of 397 or one payment of 597. And as you can see in the chat window now, he's popped this offer in here, and he's put 2 hours and 15 minutes on this. Again, as we mentioned at the start, a popular scam tactic is to get people to act immediately without thinking. If you can panic them into thinking that their internet is going to be cut off, or their Amazon account has been charged £80 for something which they haven't paid for, it's the same tactic as this. He wants you to pay £397 or £597 within the next 2 hours. Otherwise, it goes back up to the extortionate prices, which we touched upon a few minutes ago. But we'll go through to the checkout later. But we're getting close now to the time. I've put these times down the right-hand side, which I think we're going to start getting the pop-ups for these fictitious sales. And rather handily, Webinar Jam has a timer at the top of the screen, so we should be able to see exactly when these hit. But we'll pause for now, and we'll come back in 3 or 4 minutes' time when these fictitious sales start coming in, if we have called it correctly. So we're coming up to 1 hour and 20 minutes into the video. These are the times where we think something is going to happen in terms of these fake messages. So let's stay quiet and see what happens. As a reminder, we've got the times on the right-hand side here. The first few are very quick, and we'll discuss the other ones if the first few do actually happen. So here we go now. Bingo. Someone from Edinburgh has purchased during correct score mastery. That makes sense, doesn't it? So next one should be Oxford at Platinum in 1 second time. There it is. The next one should be Leeds at 1 hour, 20 minutes and 30 seconds. Also Platinum. Here it comes now, hopefully. And there we go. The next one is Winchester, buying the gold version. So he's mixed the versions up. But as you can see, where it says it's purchased joined, if you remember the video we saw on YouTube, the guy there put joined. So he's even made the same mistake as the guy in the YouTube video did. But as you can see, all these are coming in exactly as we predicted. So the next one will be Swansea Platinum in 3 seconds time. And there it is. So if you remember at the start, I said it's all about looking for patterns and things like that. So the first few are coming at 15 seconds apart, and these next ones are coming in at exactly 1 minute and 1 second apart. So there's no randomness about the timing. He's just basically added a minute and a second to each of them. So he's probably tabbed through that field, if you remember on the Webinar Jam video, where you've got your hours, minutes and seconds in different fields. So he's probably just added one tab. So where are we now? 21:37. So 22:02, we'll get someone from Sterling joining the Mastery Gold. We're not going to watch all of these because obviously I think now the case is compelling. I think we've proved exactly what is going on in this video. and it's frankly disgusting that people are expected to pay £400, £600 after watching this, and all the tactics that are being used. There we go. There's a sterling one. So we'll pause it now, and we'll come back in a few minutes to see if there's anything else worth mentioning.
Just want to go over what is inside the packages, because I can see questions coming in, and I'm going to address those questions a little bit later. And I can see some people are at the checkout page and they're hesitating a little bit. So this is what you get in the gold package on the left, and on the right.
So that comment there about seeing people at the checkout and hesitating, that again is designed to get people to hurry up and make their purchase almost without thinking, panicking them almost into buying. He uses Thrivecart as his store, which interestingly is the same software that BTC use. And as far as we're aware, there's no way of actually him seeing your cart through Thrivecart. It's just purely a technique to get you to hurry along. So as you can see, there's so much staging and fabricated information in this webinar. We haven't even touched on the content, but if someone's going to all of this deception to get a sale, the chances are that what they're selling you isn't actually that trustworthy. If you're going to be paying someone hundreds, maybe even thousands, you need to trust them. There is absolutely nothing to trust here. Of course, you will make your own mind up, but we have deliberately stuck to the facts. There is no opinion of mine in this video. What I show you, you can do yourself. A couple of days after signing up for the webinar, we received another email telling us that our offer had been extended and was due to expire shortly, and that there were only 7 spots available. This is another play on the fear of missing out technique. Firstly, why would anybody limit the number of spaces to a virtual course when all you need to do is provide the customer with a login? Clicking through to see this final offer, we can see that now only 5 slots are remaining. This again is a tactic used to convince people that these are selling out quickly and they need to act. The fact is that has been on 5 for the past 5 days, and it probably is a hard-coded value of 5 as well. It is there purely just to get people to again hurry along and make their purchase. As we can see from here, we can pay £397 for the webinar Correct Score Mastery Gold, or we could pay £1,197 for the Correct Score Mastery Gold. Surely if this is an offer, then that one shouldn't be there. And likewise, the £1,797 for Correct Score Platinum, when we can get the webinar offer for the same course for £597. The reasons they're in there is because people might click on them by mistake and end up paying a considerable amount more for the same thing. So to summarise, what we've got is an amateur-looking website with highlighted sections designed to entice you to progress, with keywords highlighted, words that I want you to read and to keep in your mind. We've got fear of missing out techniques throughout the website and the video and the follow-up emails. Things like telling you it's the last session and there's a limited time offer, and there's actually 96 sessions a day, one running every 15 minutes, and we'll prove that again at the end of this video that they are still running. We can see here this webinar special offer is also time limited now. I mean, it's 5 days after I've opened the email, and when I opened it earlier on today, that was at 24 hours, and it started counting down from that as soon as I actually launched this page. There's faking of sales pop-ups, which we've seen on the webinar, and we've shown how those are actually injected into the system via the Webinar Jam interface, and also the faking up of the remaining slots, the 5 remaining down here. If you've purchased one of Sports Trading Live's courses, you have my sympathy. Hopefully this video will prevent others making the same mistake. As previously mentioned, this video was never on the list of videos to make, but as soon as I watched the webinar, I knew I had to make it. I hope you found it useful. And as promised, here's the booking form again. So it's currently 11:36 in the morning, and we can see, we've got a slot starting in 8 minutes at 11:45. So again, more proof that these slots are not the last ones. They're just being made every 15 minutes just to entice people to join in. So more proof, if you needed it, that this is not a trustworthy exercise being employed by Sports Trading Live.